Well, hello.
Hey guys, ADMW special, another video cast here for you guys. This is a pre-recorded game, so we will be commenting about things that happened a long time ago.
At this point, you probably have seen this opening plenty of times, so you know this.
This is a game between Reddice Diaries and Henry Ketchup or Sailor Vulcan, and we are going to witness some crazy stuff, hopefully. I want to see some crazy stuff.
I love crazy stuff.
Do you guys want to see crazy stuff?
Crazy stuff is good.
Yes.
Mage is warring in the Mage Wars game.
Alright. I'm joined by Koshade and Sharkbait and myself, Puddinhead, and we are going to be your guide to all the crazy stuff.
Crazy!
Super nuts! So yeah, this game, Henry Ketchup versus Reddice. We've seen Henry Ketchup in a bunch of different tournaments before, and he always can bring out some, interesting stuff. Reddice, pretty new to the scene, but he has some pretty good ability here, so it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out.
It'd be a really interesting one because, like I said, I think Henry Ketchup comes up with some interesting ideas, but sometimes doesn't always follow all the way through with them.
Yeah, he's like... You don't normally see him set up economy necessarily correctly, but he has these specific little strategies that can have a ton of potential.
And they catch people off guard really well.
Probably one of his most notable things is starting the whole fatigue idea. Fatigue being a direct damage kind of build that just focuses on killing you by just direct damage.
Yep, run you out of stuff and kill you slowly over time. But here we see that Reddice is, in fact, rocking the red and the Anvil Throne Warlord in the upper left, and Sailor Vulcan is rocking the Siren, the first one of the tournament, in the lower right as blue.
Nice.
Right off the bat, I gotta say that the Siren is kind of at a disadvantage when versing a Anvil Throne, just because that tough -2 is brutal if you want to get pushes, if you want to get the bleeds, things like that.
That's true,
which the Siren really does like doing.
It's true, and another favorite thing that I see a lot of Anvil Throne Warlords cast happens to be the Iron Golem, which is also psychic immune, so the Siren's Call won't really help actually reposition like you'd want them to as well.
Yeah, absolutely. The Iron Golem's a great creature.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow, look at this. So Sailor runs 2 and enchants himself with something. That is a bold move for a mage with 30 health.
Yep, running right in to the Anvil Throne Warlord, and who plays the economy play in the first turn.
It's got an economy. Well, I mean, you wouldn't... I would expect an Anvil Throne Warlord to drop a Battleforge first turn. Let's be honest here.
Oh, yeah, but it's still I think running headlong into that is dangerous. I'm not saying it can't be done.
Well,
I'm just saying it's a little bit dangerous.
Yeah, Battleforge Mana Crystal is such a safe opening. It's just one of those, oh yeah, I know what you're doing. This is very standard, I need to react, so I'm going to give myself an extra action, going to give myself that 2 extra mana around, but I'm not going to really commit a ton of stuff.
And the cool thing is actually in this case... Oh, sorry,
go for it. Go for it. No, you go for it.
So the cool thing in this case is that because that opening is so common for something like the Warlord here, it can actually disguise some nuances to it that may catch somebody off guard.
Oh, right. Wow. And the Harshforged Plate coming out immediately. We'll see if he's going to ruin that or not.
Well, yeah, he goes ahead and he drops that right away. I think it makes sense considering
looks like he is going to ruin it.
The Siren is right in his face now. Well, not quite,
with no economy out of the Siren there, or any sort of spells you want to do to sort of manipulate how the Anvil Throne's doing is just going to eat into the available mana.
And I mean, 3 armor in the deployment phase of round 2 is pretty freaking high.
He does put the armor
Yep,
in.
that is pretty awesome. Now, I would want to point out here that the Siren of all mages is going to be the best equipped to take out a Battleforge on the second turn.
That's probably true.
That might be one reason why he ran forward, so that he could step forward and double Surging Wave, maybe with the Hawkeye on, or Swell. Swell's range 2, right?
Yep.
Swell's range 2 with 4 dice, which will turn in, or 3 dice, excuse me, which will turn into 7 with a Hawkeye and attacking the Battleforge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cheap, 4 mana.
Yep. I mean, he could run in and take that out right now, and then watch the Anvil Throne Warlord scramble.
And the effective trade there would be just one extra quick action because it's the same amount of mana.
Yeah, absolutely.
Though that being said, it looks like he's not going to double anything at this point.
Ooh, he's got the
Crocodile coming out.
I love me some Croc.
This is another one of those creatures that the Anvil Throne is probably going to be happy to fight because its grapple chance gets reduced, its bleed chance gets reduced. It's one of those.
That's true, yeah.
It's one of
It's
those
not
like, okay,
Yeah, the Warlord's like, okay, why did you do this? I think in this case, let's see here. What would I have done instead? I think it's a tough call because the Warlord's, I mean, the literal tough trait is hard to work around, I think, in Siren's case because of it. A lot of builds that I have seen rely on conditions.
Absolutely. Like Leviathan, I think would be a good choice.
It's true. Piercing 2 is really nice.
When you see the double move, I've been noticing we've been seeing Water Elemental or Crocodile come out. And going down the Crocodile round isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just got to see how those grapples are going to work.
That's true. The grapples, and I think the Leviathan you mentioned earlier would be a great play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if like Red Dice doesn't have a whole lot of mana at this point. So even on a third turn, if Henry moves forward and double shoots that Battle Forge, might be worth it.
Red Dice could cast a leather piece of armor and have 4 armor going into round 3.
4 armor.
Just for the record.
It's a Siren. I mean,
it is a Siren, but you still have to spend the actions. It'll give you time to react. I think it's probably just fine.
You got Acid Ball, you got Rust, you got
Dissolves.
Yeah, you got Dissolves out the wazoo. I mean, 10 mana on a Dissolve on that Harshforged Blade is not that bad.
Or even
it is when you're only channeling 9.
Crumble is such a good choice against the Harshforged Blade.
Crumble really is if you're in range for that already.
You don't have to pay the extra 2. And then you gain 2 at the end. That's so.
But my point, I guess the point I'm making there is you still have to spend those actions to get rid of the armor, and by that point, how much damage have you taken? You have no armor on. You're out in the middle of nowhere. You have a Croc to help you, sure, but
it's got a Crocodile for a guard, and the Anvil Throne Warlord has no offense right now. He rolls 3 dice at this point.
The Anvil Throne Warlord gets horror boulders at cost. He doesn't need any offense on the field.
Boulders at cost something now.
He can technically double boulder right now and put 16 damage on this guy without even blinking an eye.
Still costs you a turn and 8 mana per boulder.
I think we might see either this round or next round Red Dice, come up with some sort of counter to that Croc. I'm curious to see what comes out though.
That's true, yeah. If he can deal with the Croc, I think he's in a really good position, especially.
An unmovable creature can't be restrained by the grapple, so.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
Uncontainable one. So, Iron Golem at this point would be a really good choice.
Iron Golem's a good choice. I still think, or I'm of the opinion, Thorg would be an interesting play.
Thorg would be awesome.
Just because you could taunt the Croc into attacking Thorg instead of the Mage.
That's true.
Now, granted, he's also really expensive, but he's a tough creature. He can't afford him this turn, but I wonder if it's coming later.
Yeah, the Croc can still grapple Thorg, and Thorg will get -2 dice on the counterattack. I don't know if I would do that.
3 dice.
It's 3 dice versus what? 4 armor? 3 armor?
It's not terrible. Just means the Croc can't attack the Dwarf, though.
Okay.
Just something to think about. I'm not saying it's a great play.
I mean, the Croc death rolls the Thorg until Thorg is dead, and then.
Yeah, but how long does that take?
Doesn't matter.
Leather pants come out.
It always matters.
No more chafing from that Harshforge.
No more chafing from the Harshforge.
Got leather pants chafing now.
That's awesome.
Okay, we're gonna see an attack come out. It looks like an acid ball, so it's gonna have -2 to its effect, and still gets good damage. It gets 2 corrodes, and so it's gonna reduce him down to 2 armor after 2 corrodes.
That is a really good acid ball.
Yeah, that was exactly what you want out of that.
Yep. 2 corrodes, 3 crit, not bad.
Turned out pretty well.
Honestly, even if the Croc just killed the flower on its way over to the Warlord.
Eats the flower.
It would definitely help even things out, I would agree.
Here's the Iron Golem.
Oh, wow. So the Iron Golem comes out, and that's just going to counter everything the Siren's doing right now.
It definitely helps. It's a start in the right direction.
A lot of people watching this game, apparently.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Did we tell everybody that we're watching a pre-recorded game and all that mumbo jumbo? Okay.
I feel like we should just tell them when it's not a pre-recorded game because there's less likely to be.
Yeah, so the Iron Golem being, 6 dice on a basic thing, the Warlord has all sorts of options of like charge and battle fury to sort of just make that 6 dice get there or be very powerful. And against a Croc, like just a few good hits is
That's
gonna
a
really
big
take
punch.
Yep. Well, I mean, the Croc is still
It's
an
got 3
aquatic
armor.
creature,
Yeah,
and you can sit him in a shallow sea, and he'll be matched with the Golem. You
that's
know,
very true actually.
it'll be match for match, really.
Yeah, they both
Um,
have kind of a ton of armor, and
yep.
I think
And you could even Siren's Call the crocodile to get even
the
more.
melee too. That's actually a really good idea.
I
So I
like
mean,
that one
you could
personally.
be shallow sea. There's the shallow sea.
So the biggest
You
problem is getting into the same zone because then
That's
you're
a great
vulnerable.
setup.
If the Croc, oh, she's gonna put him way up there, huh?
Take out that battle forge with shallow sea.
Do they have a range of 2?
Yeah,
Shallow sea. Have a
Yes,
range of
shallow
2?
sea does.
Nice.
I think all terrain has range 2 right now.
Really?
Pretty sure.
Nice. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, you can't cast a ballista far away from you, but you can, like, change
you
the
know what?
landscape far away from you.
You know what? I speaking of ballista, I'm pretty sure it's just pretty sure war. I'm pretty sure Steep Hill is range 1. Maybe it's just shallow sea. I don't know.
I do believe Steep Hill is range 1.
Consecrated Ground is
Maybe
range
just.
2.
Oh, is it? I guess ranges
Yeah.
are all over the place. Whatever. Because I think the grasslands might be range 1 too. Terrain. Am I right?
Terrain.
So
You know
he
what,
chooses to put it in the top zone. That's really interesting.
Well, I think that kind of telegraphs where he's going with the Croc.
Yeah,
not
no
that
kidding.
not that anybody really was guessing too much, but if you put the Iron Golem on guard, I think it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
an interesting time for the Croc to deal with because a guarding Iron Golem plus a Warlord with 2 actions is a dangerous proposition to just go running headlong into.
I mean, if you grapple the golem, the counterattack's 4 dice or 3 dice.
Counterattack is only 3 dice. I'll give you that. So happens when he gets acid balled and bouldered right away.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
The leaving the dwarf with 2 actions to deal with it is a little bit daunting. I guess.
Oh, is he
I
gonna
think
take
charging
the
in,
actions away?
charging the Croc in, is just charging the Croc in alone. I guess is dangerous.
Oh, I totally agree with you. That is.
And that's where I'm getting at ultimately, in a roundabout way.
I mean, this is a rush from the Siren, and it's really the first few dice rolls are going to determine this game, I think.
I could see that.
I mean, Siren has a lot of tools. I mean, you could totally Ballad of Courage, the Croc. You could Sirens. You could move up and Sirens Call the Croc, so it moves closer to you and then gets the damage. Like, there's a lot of stuff you could do this turn.
I still think that the moving into the zone with an unarmored Siren to do that is a dangerous play too, though.
You're not moving into the zone.
Moving into range is still bad.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad. That's a.
It's just an
I'm not saying
unarmored.
you're wrong.
Yeah, it's an unarmored Siren asking to be punched.
I mean, honestly, like, we don't know what that enchantment is, but I definitely think that the Siren could be in some really big danger with an Iron Golem and a Warlord just sitting there.
Yep, I think the Croc needs a little bit more backup.
I mean, the question is, like, what other creatures are going to come out, if any, from either side? I mean, Ketchup has 19 mana.
It's true, he does have quite a bit.
Got some discussion here.
Yep, he's on a replaying
Plan.
something. He accidentally clicked the wrong thing.
I mean, nothing really has happened so far, so
Right, so that's why I think it's
it
okay,
doesn't matter.
among other reasons.
Yeah, and you know, this is kind of where you see the Anvilthorn Warlord has held still and cast things. And sure, the Siren has more mana, but the board advantage for the Anvil Throne is pretty significant. And the Siren has spent a lot of time moving closer rather than gearing up.
Yeah, we're doing Yeah, gearing up is actually probably the best way to look at that. And the Dancing Scimitar is an interesting play, too, because it could totally derail the grapple.
Yeah, it sure could.
Oh man, Dancing Scimitar is a great play there. I mean, if you even get the defense against the Croc, that's most of the
Yeah, here
offense.
comes the charge.
Yep.
See, Charge is such a great choice. I mean, you get 7 dice in that golem. And
it moves out of the shallow sea.
Moves out of the shallow sea. You get to attack with the golem on a slow creature. Such a good choice here. And, he didn't roll that well in this, but still, he should roll one
You should
more
get
die.
one more. Yeah, one more.
Yeah, charge doesn't auto yet.
Dang it.
But yeah, I mean that's a nice.
You say yet like it's actually going to happen.
At some point it might.
Okay, so he gets 0 damage out with that. But he got 2 on the Croc total, which is a pretty nice thing, I guess. And this is kind of how that fight, I think, would go between the two of them. Just little bits of damage until one of them falls.
Yeah, beat down
Yeah.
until something happens.
Yeah, I'm guessing the Croc is going to go in anyway and attack the Warlord, especially based on that acid ball. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Second acid ball gets
Double
the 2
corrode
Gets
again.
another 2 damage.
I think you should
That's
get
really
the 1
nice.
corrode because he's tough,
No.
right?
It's
Or did
a
I count
five
wrong?
He got a
Five
I
up
counted
double
wrong.
corrode.
Yep, you're right. I was thinking it was 6 up for some reason.
And he's going to get that grapple off, hopefully. I mean,
Ooh,
he could get
+2.
deflected by the scimitar.
Let's see what happens here.
And it's a 7-up grapple now instead of a 5, right?
Yeah, that's true.
There we go. I can math again.
We're going to see, is he going to use a scimitar or not?
I think that's what it's waiting on.
Choosing,
It's asking him to choose.
and
He chooses not to. Oh, no, he does.
He does get the dodge.
He
deflects.
defends.
And that's worth so much. Like, that's so much offensive stuff just gone.
Yeah, that is huge.
He's going to hit the Croc back.
2 dice, I believe. And he gets 2 damage out of it.
Gets 2 crits out of
Alright.
it. Yeah.
It's not too bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Let's see what the Siren does with her last action.
I
The
would
question
put
is-
a wall up between the Golem and the Croc.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be interesting, actually. Yeah. But I mean, I tend to think that the most common wall for Sirens I've seen run is Coral Barrier,
Yeah,
which you
the
can just
Golem
move
doesn't
right
care
through.
about that.
Yeah, you can just move right back through.
All right, well, Henry's going to move the Siren up 1. He got 14 mana. Let's see what he's got.
Well, that's enough for a Whirlpool.
Double.
least-
And he's gonna
Whoa.
run in.
Whoa.
Well, that's weird.
Honestly, Siren's Call on the Croc might not have been a bad choice there.
And then move in next turn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that requires you to move first, though.
Yeah,
at
well,
this
I mean,
at this point, he can Siren's Call in the quick cast if he wants to, right before the Croc attacks.
yep. I mean, I think in this case, because he has initiative, it
Mhm.
would work either way. What he could do is Siren's Call last turn and then move in, or quick cast the Trident, move in and stab,
Yeah.
followed
that
by
would've
the
been
Croc
interesting.
doing his thing.
Yeah.
Or he could just, quick cast something at the end, there's just lots of options there. I just don't think he needed to double move.
I mean, especially with that.
Well,
much
I
mana.
mean, he could drop the Kraken in this zone right now
Ooh.
on this next turn,
Well, with 23
That's
mana,
true.
yeah, that would actually be a great play.
and that would give the Croc some support, especially if the Croc got the grapple off.
Or Leviathan. Just saying.
Leviathan is 24, I think.
No, it's 22.
Oh, it's
22
22,
minus
that's
1 for the ring, too.
The ring, that's right.
So you can do Leviathan and enchant it if you want.
Or Siren's Call.
Or Siren's Call, yeah.
Or so,
I
yeah,
mean, you have
absolutely.
between 1 and 2 mana to spend.
The Kraken gets piercing 3 and 7 dice, though, right?
Kraken gets
it's
6
Leviathan.
piercing, 3 Leviathan gets 7 piercing, 2.
Mhm.
I had to think about that for a second though.
Yeah, they're very similar creatures, except for their.
Yeah, the
Tricks.
extraneous abilities are different, but I think they're both awesome.
Yeah, I've been liking that Leviathan a lot. It is a crazy card.
It is really good, and
Yeah, that thing is a little buzzsaw.
like to
A
remind
giant buzzsaw.
everyone that it is a promotional card at this point. So don't expect to bring it to Gen Con.
Unless it gets miraculously released by then.
Don't think so.
I'd allow it.
Yeah. I'd allow it.
Yeah, you're not the head judge.
I'll talk to Ben.
Well, I don't know if he has the ability to say that either.
But he is the head judge.
No, he's not an Arcane Wonders employee.
It's true.
Yeah, as long as
That's
that dancing scimitar's there, there's always that chance, though, that crocodile is just going to do nothing.
Yeah, in my
I
opinion,
would
that dancing
be very-
scimitar's already paid for itself.
I
Oh,
would
yeah,
be very
absolutely.
surprised if it did not get dissolved this turn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless he's saving up for a big creature. Like a water elemental at this point would not be bad,
Yeah.
but something with piercing would be better.
Water. Yeah, I think piercing would be a really good idea. You're right. Water elemental is an interesting choice because it still pushes on a 6-up.
He's got
And he's
no armor now.
He's a big baddie. He can do quite a bit of damage still.
He can take a lot of damage too.
Yeah, and that was the next part. Is he can take a lot because he's resilient as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to stand in this corner with the Amblethorn Warlord and get a 6-up push, he gets extra 3 dice every time. So he's getting 9 dice out of that water elemental.
Absolutely. So I mean, I think the water elemental would be a good play here. Actually, it'd be an interesting play. Let's go with that one. I don't know if it's.
What I'd really love to see from him at this point is another large creature.
Yes, absolutely.
Even
Something to
second
back it up.
croc
Something
be
to back
fine.
up the croc.
Yeah.
Something non-mage related.
Yeah. Yeah, Wand of Healing. Oh, he's going to try and get rid of those
Oh, man.
roads.
And the mass armor continues.
Not even. If you get rid of one corrode, you still only got 1 armor. I wouldn't call
Yeah,
that mass.
It's going to take 4 actions.
Yeah, it's going to take a while for him to get it back, but I think because of the fact that he's got an Iron Golem backing him up, he might have the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like casting a leather per turn by getting your armor back with that.
Yeah,
First quick cast.
and it's pretty cheap too.
Mm-hmm.
Is he doing a zone enchantment? Interesting.
Looks like he is.
I
I
wonder
wondered if that's a
that could be.
hydrothermal vent there for when the
Yeah, right.
inevitable
choice.
charge back in.
Yeah. I mean, you
It
basically
has
get
a
for
pretty
free.
decent days chance. So. Oh, he took a corrode off. Nice.
That was a smart choice.
Yep, I agree.
He's
It's
got
always
a decent armor.
it's just definitely a good choice there.
And what are we going to see here?
Which a
Melee.
punch?
4 dice.
Why?
Get some.
And yeah, it was not a great roll though.
Yeah. And the Rhino Hide gets revealed, so no damage goes through.
Oh, interesting. Yes. Wow. So now he's up to 3 armor out of nowhere.
That's why the Wand of Healing was a good choice.
That was a
Mhm.
fantastic choice. Yeah.
He's going to move out of that zone. Another smart choice.
And he's gonna
Yep.
enchant him. Yeah, he's making
And that
the
Croc is
right
probably
calls
gonna
here. I
follow.
think.
Yeah, no, Red Dice is playing this, like, perfectly.
Yeah, that's exactly how you want to deal with this
He's
croc.
got the dancing scimitar. The Croc wants to attack him. He's got a golem that's going to hit him in the face then.
Yeah, this is why I think a Kraken would have been a good choice.
I could see that.
Because you can snatch them back in.
Yep.
I mean, Ketchup has 21 mana now, and both of her mage's actions are used, so... Like, it's just kind of mana just not being used. There's only so long you can hold out like that.
Yep.
Well, he gets the grapple though.
He does get the grapple. I'm not sure it'll matter much. He's
That's
still
nice,
in a
yeah.
he's still in a position that he. I still think leading with just the croc is a positional nightmare
And here comes
in this
the
case
golem.
because the croc is now vulnerable out of the sea
I
again.
mean, he's about to take 6 damage out of this golem, or whatever he's going
Well,
to
6
Oh,
dice.
Or he
Oh
rolls
man,
9
God.
damage and
Wow.
just kills the Croc.
this is what I'm talking about. You do not.
Is the Croc dead? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And I was gonna
just,
type about the grapple token, but I'm like, never mind. There's no more. There's no more croc to do that.
I
for.
mean, as I said, Ketchup has 21 mana and nothing, no actions to bring it out.
I mean, charging right in with the croc with no support, I will keep
That's-
reiterating it, is a bad play.
Well, I mean, it's very.
It's just like
similar-
Drokar, except
you know, I
it's
mean-
a tougher version of Drokar.
Exactly. We're talking about how Drokar can't go in by himself, and I'm really thinking these grapple creatures, you need to make them the secondary dudes. You don't make them your main focus.
Yeah.
Even
Right.
if you make them 1A to 1B. You just need something out there to help him. It's like playing in playing chess. You have a queen, right? The queen can do pretty dang near anything. It's really, really strong. But if you leave it out there to
send
get
her out by herself.
exactly,
Yeah.
you put out the support first. You have some kind of infrastructure to back up your strong units.
Makes sense to me.
Because your strong unit alone is not as strong as the
Wow.
other mage, no
And
matter
I
what
mean,
you want to do.
And Ketchup's at 30 mana now, and we'll see what Ketchup does. Because I mean, if Ketchup does have like a Leviathan or something, there's definite chances here.
Yeah, that's a big, tough creature to take care of.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Leviathan or the Kraken or anything like that.
Yep, it's
I mean,
really
you could
tough.
rouse
And
the beast on Leviathan.
I think I'm looking at the different number of cards. They're super even on the cards.
And Henry doesn't seem too happy about this.
No. And for what it's worth, it's still, he's got 30 mana. That's
Oh, he
That's
could
a
totally
lot-
still do things.
a lot of Mage Wars left.
And he's got time. I mean, it's unlikely that the Iron Golem's going to be charging in this turn. And even if he does, that's going to be a hydrothermal vent to the face.
Mhm.
And he's going to be rolling one less die
He
anyway.
could definitely do
So
something.
you have a chance to cast another big creature and get some gear on.
Or even not
No.
a big creature, even a bunch of small creatures. You have plenty of
And,
time.
And it
is
looks
my
like
point.
Henry's gonna call it. That's
Yeah.
the game.
So I disagree with this particular call. Do not give up, especially when you're sitting on 30 mana in a shallow sea, where you're like you have.
I mean, especially
plenty
with
of ways
30
to
mana.
come back
I mean,
from
when
this.
it- when
He's
it
only
comes
got an
to-
Iron Golem.
Yeah, when it comes to tournament games, like having 30 mana is a bad time to call it because there's like a whole never give up, never surrender in the tournament setting, and that's because you
Yeah.
can make comebacks.
You can make comebacks, and I do not agree with the claim that the Iron Golem was the one card you were not prepared for either. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't have given up. If there's no one card that can derail your entire plan, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I mean, Red Dice played that really well. He got
Red
out of the
Dice played
shallow
that
sea.
Extremely well.
I mean, he stayed calm. He kept putting his armor on, and he knew that since he had a regrowth, he was going to get some of that damage back. You know,
Mhm.
Red Dice absolutely played that correctly, and he played that very well. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong.
absolutely. Applause.
But I
to
do
Red
think
Dice
that
for
giving up after one croc dies is not worthy of a tournament match.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
should totally play that out.
I mean, honestly, it's one of those things that, this is one of those things that if you were in training, you'd say, let's restart this and we try something new. But in
Yes,
the tournament,
exactly.
It's just, and I think I remember talking to Ketchup, and I think I remember him saying that he literally had no other creatures in his deck or something like that. And so I can see why he did concede. But, this is kind of like, it's a new mage and we're not seeing the best decks, but I totally think that there's a lot more to the Siren than what we saw in this game.
I agree.
that's true. There's a lot more to the Siren, and but I do want to say that the Anvil Throne Warlord with a Golem buddy is pretty strong.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That is a really strong
And it
way to
was-
start the game.
Really tough to attack into that. As we've said earlier, like
Mhm.
attacking into a well-defended position is not an easy one to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us in this awesome game. We'll see you next
Yeah.
time.
See
I'm
you on the
Kill
next one.
Shade.
And Shark bait.
And Puddinhead. Ciao.